Hello, today I will show this paper effect. I call it Rip Out Paper Transition, and for creating one you will need something like Clothorn paper element, like this one, and couple white and black paper textures. These are from my paper texture pack, which you can get along with transitions on my website, links are in description. Now move straight to tutorial. I'm in After Effects and I have fully isolated rip element here. It's important one, as a whole effect based on this element. That's why I had to show you quick how to isolate it from background in Photoshop. Okay, from now After Effects only. Let's start with pre-comps for rip element. Create composition named Rip Texture and place rip element here. Then duplicate this composition, name it Patched Rip Texture. We should fill the gap inside this isolated rip element, so create solid layer and use pen tool for creating shape which will fill the gap. Next create backside texture comp. Drop Patched Rip Texture here and place white paper background layer above with underlying transparency on. So we've got backside of our rip effect. Lastly, for our preparations, create media holder comp and drop your video with overlay paper texture here. Let's start assembling transition. Create Rip Out Transition comp. Drop media holder 1 and Patched Rip Texture there. Use Patched Rip Texture comp as inverted alpha matte. Then place Rip Texture and media holder one more time. Duplicate Patched Rip Texture and use it as alpha matte for media holder. You might see white stroke around the rip. That's okay, we will get rid of it later. Choose these two layers and pre-comp them as a front rip. Then choose front rip and rip texture and pre-comp it as a front rip animation. Ok, now go into front rip animation and create solid layer called matte. Place it on top with X position as 5760. Then add null object and set X position to 3840. So it will be aligned with edge of matte layer. Parent matte layer with null object. Then use it as inverted alpha matte for front rip and alpha matte for rip texture. Now if you move null object you can see simple fade transition between layers. Name null object as Matte Ani and animate its X position from 3840 to 0. I use this curve for 2-second animation. Now add backside texture to front rip animation and set X scale to -100. Also duplicate Matte Ani and matte layers and place them above backside texture. Use matte layer as alpha matte for backside texture. Choose these three layers and pre-comp them as backside animation. In backside animation, unparent matte layer and instead parent backside texture with Matte Ani. Set X position of backside texture to 1920. Now let's set length of the backside rip, choose rectangle tool and mask matte layer like this. So now we see only part of moving texture. Go back to front rip animation and parent backside animation with Matte Ani. And now we have basic rip out animation. Let's add more details. I will start with shadow, just duplicate matte layer, make it black and name it as shadow. Check underlying transparency on and adjust position and feather of mask so that it would replicate shadow on curved line. You can always adjust it later to get better look. Repeat same process for highlight. Name duplicated layer as highlight. Make it white and apply screen blending mode. Then adjust mask on the opposite side from shadow. Now pre-comp all layers as backside shadow. Duplicate it and use drop shadow on bottom layer. Adjust shadow so it wouldn't be visible from highlighted part. For more realistic shadow, add CC radial blur with fading or straight zoom. Adjust settings to get look you like and check what we've got. It already looks pretty good. But I want to add more rotation to backside element, so it would unfold more naturally along rip path. In front rip animation, let's animate rotation of Matte Ani null layer. It will be simple linear keyframes, so just find proper start and final angle values. I will use +40 for first keyframe and -20 for second keyframe. There might be slight visible line. So we can move backside animation layer a couple of pixels to the right until it's gone. Copy these rotation keyframes, then go to Backside Shadow and duplicate Mate Ani layer as Mate Ani Rod. Now parent Mate, Shadow and Highlight layers to Mate Ani Rod. At 0 frame, delete Position keyframes and paste Rotation keyframes. Change keyframes values to negative ones. I changed 40 to -40 and -20 to 20. Now our backside part is turning. Go back to front rip animation and duplicate Mate Ani as Mate Ani backside. Delete rotation keyframes and then click with Alt button on stopwatch and pick whip with Mate Ani rotation values. So you should get expression like this. Open expression and add simple multiply 2 at the end. Oh, I forgot to parent backside animation to Mate Ani backside. Do it at 0 frame and previously disable expression and enable it once you've parented all layers. As you can see, we have a little gap here, so go to Backside Shadow and make composition width bigger for 200 pixels. Do the same for backside animation composition, so that gap will be fixed. Now go to Rip Out Transition and add simple choker with value around 2 to patch rip texture. So our Rip Out effect is ready. Now let's add transition path. In Final Transition Comp I have two videos. Drop Rip Out Transition above them and place it at starting point. Cut first video and copy rest of it. Paste it in media holder, so that transition would be aligned perfectly with video itself. Align start of second video with start of transition. I will use simple yet effective technique for animation. No 3D camera, just simple scale and position keyframes. So add scale keyframe at frame 5 of transition and second one at frame 45. And do the same for position keyframes. Now set second scale keyframe to around 1600 and adjust position so that we see mostly ripped part. Now let's convert keyframes to easy ease and adjust animation curves for both position and rotation. Open Graph Editor and choose Edit Value Graph. Pick keyframe handles and move them hard to the same point like I did here. Play around with this graph to see which results you can get. Before animation starts, turn motion blur on for layers. Now repeat similar process with scale for second video. Set starting keyframe for 70 and final for 100. Now adjust animation graph this way. This curve part should be aligned with curve part of transition, so that we match dynamics of different parts. To hide empty borders, use motion tile effect to second video. And for final touch, let's add blur. I will use camera lens blur, it's quite heavy effect. If you can't render it, use Gaussian blur instead. But for better result, I will use camera lens blur. You can play around with your animation, but the main idea is to match movement of layer with intensity of blur. So the closer layer is, the harder blur is. That's why it will get similar animation curve. Same goes for second video, but in inverted way. So here's the final result.